Hello and welcome to episode 10 of my Better Than Wolves Let's Play. A couple of things. First off, I'd like to apologise for the large amount of heavy breathing that happened at the last episode due to me getting rather excited with the whole gas situation. And secondly, I have updated my Minecraft to 1.2.3 and updated the Better Than Wolves mod to 3.56. So there's a few subtle changes. Obviously the big ones in Minecraft are the increased world height has been doubled, and there are jungles and ocelots that can be tamed, and the villagers now have golems defending them and all that exciting stuff. But because of this, I have just recorded this entire episode with all its lovely montages and everything. But where I'd reinstalled Minecraft, the sound options was obviously reset, so you could not hear a thing I was saying because the cows and the screaming netherrack. So this episode is not going to be like a normal one where you see me do it and I explain as I go. It's going to have to be a recap because I've kind of just done everything. So I'll try do it as I did it. The first portal call was obviously, as you can see, I've repaired the base from the previous incident, and I have done my research, so I now know how hoppers work correctly. The problem was, sorry, mind the screams, I've been down to the nether and harvested some netherrack, so that is currently being processed now into netherrack, ground netherrack. So that's what the screams are about, but I'll just grab a bit of this to use in demonstration. So what I've done is I've put in a basement now, down here, and this contains my ground netherrack processing area. So I've routed power from the windmill to come down, and it is powering this hopper, and this hopper, as you can see, this is highlighted to show it's receiving power, and it has a soul sound filter in it. Because before, what the problem was, if you have an unpowered hopper sitting on its own with a soul sound filter, once you process 7 ground netherrack, that's okay, and then once the 8th bit touches the top of the hopper breaks and it spawns a ghast. So never do that. If you're desperate to do it unpowered, you can do it 7 times and then take out the soul sound and replace it, and that resets the counter. But the way you avoid it completely is to power the hopper. So I've got a little water stream running over the top of the hopper and then back around here, so I can take my ground netherrack, throw it into this stream, and it will flow down. Throwing is harder than it looks, and once it passes over the soul sound, it gets converted into the hellfire dust, and that will come round to me here, and I'll pick it up. So that's how that works. The screams from the mill, I know, is rather irritating. I shall stop it shortly. So ways I could improve on this little operation here is, as you see, I have to throw them in one by one, but if I was to place a hopper above this input area and have it powered, I could then just say get my stack of 64 ground netherrack, place it inside the hopper, then the hopper, due to it being powered, would dispense the items one by one very quickly into the stream, so then they would pass over the hopper and be converted. So I've got a little on-off switch for this hopper if I want to turn it off. Obviously I never really want it off, because if I ever use it when it's unpowered, the end of the world will come crashing down. But what I do have is, I've done a little bit of, very simple for other people but complicated for me, redstone wiring, as you can see in the background, running up to the top of the mill. So I do have kind of a master cut-off switch now, so if I flick this switch, the whole mill turns off. Eventually. It takes a little while for the power to, like when redstone travels, it takes a little while, and you'll hear it creaking down. It's a new feature of the update, that creaking. So these are grinding away now. What else did I learn? I've got to try and remember everything I've already said. So yeah, I found a more efficient way of feeding my wolves. Have they? Yep, they both produced their dung. I just fed them recently. That's good. So I didn't realise, but wolves can actually eat up to 1 square away from them. so I don't have to have an individual feeding hole for each of my walls. I can have a central square and then throw my items in, they land on that central square, and then all the walls around it can reach it, and as you just saw, they both ate their rotten meat, and now they're good to go. So this will improve my make it easier to automate, so I can have a dispenser here facing this block, shooting out bits of rotten meat on, say, a timer, and that'll slowly just keep the walls fed and keep them producing dung. So yeah, what we do with our hellfire dust is we come over to our heated stewing pot, and when you place 8 hellfire dust into the stewing pot, it's being heated underneath by normal fire, not a stoked fire, it will produce a concentrated hellfire bath, and these are the main ingredient for producing my hibachi blocks that I'm going to need, because with a hibachi block, the flames they can produce, one, they can be turned on and off, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is the flames can be stoked with a bellows by placing a bellows at the side and having it pump up and down using an alternating mechanical power. It will stoke the fire and the flames will raise higher, and they will turn this stewing pot into like a rendering pot, and I can use that to, say, turn leather. If I put it in the rendering pot and superheat it, it turns it into glue, and I can use that glue to construct water blades to produce a water wheel, which will give me the opportunity to produce mechanical power without the fear of the weather interrupting it. So if it was to rain and I was using my hopper downstairs, the gearbox would break from spinning too fast and interrupt the mechanical power, and then I would accidentally process 8 pieces of ground netherrack on an unpowered hopper, and then it would explode and a gas would appear and it would be horrific. So yeah, the other important part of the hibachi block is I need to produce some filaments, and filaments are also made in a heated stewing pot, and I need to place in a bit of string or hemp fibre along with some redstone dust and some glowstone dust. So I'm going to need to go to the Nether and get some glowstone dust. The other use of a filament is you can produce light blocks. Light blocks are used in hemp production. As I've said before, torches don't work, it either has to be sunlight or light blocks, and you place the light block directly above the plant, so I'll place it on that block there, so it's literally touching the top of the fully grown plant, and you power it with redstone and it's on, and that allows faster hemp production, because at the moment my hemp's only growing when receiving sunlight, so during the night not a lot's happening. So the light blocks allow me to have 24/7 hemp production, and also you can move production underground, you don't have to worry about having the sunlight, so you can have multi-storey hemp farms. And I might, once I've got my light blocks, I might make a more compact hemp farm using light blocks, and then have a line of pistons down the side, so I push the button, it will harvest the hemp and that will flow down into a hopper, and that hopper can then either just be unpowered and act as a storage, or I could power it, pumping it into, say, an adjacent millstone, which will then automatically grind my hemp. But that's a goal for the future. So there is a more efficient layout for these millstones. I'll just turn it off quickly so the screens don't drive us all insane. If I was to power the millstones from underneath, I could, say, lower these millstones so they're in the water, power them from underneath so the top is free for easy access, and also then place, say, slabs just on the level above the millstones, so I can still access them, but anything that's in there being ground can't fly up and accidentally land on top of an adjacent millstone like it has there. It'll automatically have to go into the water, which will then flow into my stewing pot, which will soon be replaced with a hopper, due to the fact I can have it linked to pump into, say, a double chest, which has a bit more storage. So yeah, that's something to look forward to in the future. And yeah, I've added a bit of wiring. Sorry, it's really confusing having done an episode where you show everything as you go and then suddenly having to redo it all. So yeah, I've got switches so I can turn on one off my saw blade if needed, because that is dangerous when it is activated. So I'll quickly show you the Nether. I did go down into the Nether and mined out quite a lot of netherrack as it's needed. I have not got my glowstone dust yet. That will be part of the next episode. We will get glowstone and filaments and then move on to producing our hibachi and maybe some light blocks. But while I was down here I did make a lovely montage that's now gone to waste due to the horrific sound levels of it's a very ugly base I've managed to construct, but it serves the purpose. It's just a cobblestone shell, and I cleared out a big space in the Nether because I needed the blocks. So that's my ugly base. that I filmed from up here, but alas, that is no more. But yeah, there are some close glowstone, but it's not exactly the safest place to be harvesting glowstone from. But yeah, I have to do a bit of an explore. I might be able to get across to there quite easy. Yeah, that just runs around. So I'll, next episode we'll get our glowstone dust and produce some filaments so we can have some light blocks to get hemp production going a bit faster, although I've got plenty of hemp. And also we'll be able to get hard-batchy blocks. Thinking about it, I have actually got the required materials to build my bellows, so I could quickly do that now. So I do actually do something in this video, it's not all just a recap, sadly. On another note, I am going to place in a reed farm here, because reeds do have quite a lot of uses in this. Paper's used in a few recipes, like dynamite, but also reeds can be used to make wicker, and wicker is used as a filter in the hopper, but also you can use it as a building material to make a block known as a platform block, and that can be used in conjunction with, sorry I'm a bit distracted, in conjunction with anchor. So you can have a 5x5 platform grid, an anchor in the middle, and then you can attach rope from that anchor to a block known as a pulley block, and then when you apply mechanical power to the pulley block, it will actually raise the entire 5x5 platform up, so you can actually make a lift where the whole thing moves up and down. I think the redstone wiring involved is a bit complicated to have it so that it, you know, stops on where you want it to stop and doesn't keep on going, but it is possible to make lifts. So that looks like something that could be good to look into in the future for a project. But let's quickly just run up here and we'll construct our bellows, because that's all new and exciting for me. Bellows is used as another saw byproduct. You need your sidings, so you need a nice wooden top with, oh my bad, let me construct my belt. You need 2 gears, wooden top, and the leather. It goes like that, sorry. And there we go, we've got some bellows. So now I can place these bellows at the side of my fire to stoke the fire. But obviously with bellows, once they receive power, they compress. But you can't just compress bellows once, that's not how they work. You need to alternate the power. So, you know, they need to be on, off to pump the bellows to stoke the fire. And a reliable way of doing that is to produce a turntable. But I'll save that for another episode, so I guess I'll just pop the bellows facing in. Let me just see how bellows work. They face you when you place them. So I'm going to have to wait till I've got my hibachi and clear out the fire, because I'm going to have to be standing in there to place it facing inwards. But yeah, you can make a turntable, and what that does, it actually rotates whatever block's sitting on top of it. So you can just say have a block of wool sitting on top with a redstone torch on one side. So as that block rotates, I don't know why I'm doing hand signals, sorry. As that block rotates, the torch will, you know, periodically be on a certain side, and then you can have a line of redstone wire coming off that. So you can make quite a, you know, a very reliable, constant pulse. As long as it's not linked to a windmill, obviously, because it won't be reliable when it rains. But once you've got it on a water wheel, it'll be very constant and reliable. And it can be used to make all sorts of things. But what we need it for is, sorry, just spotted that. What we need it for is to stoke our bellows. And like I said, I've upgraded to Minecraft 1.2.3, and the feature, I think, that's happened in the updates is it's much easier now to link up double doors. They react normally now. I don't know if this will work, but doing it like this, no. But you know, before when you'd apply redstone power to a door, one would open and one would close. I think they fixed that now, so it's a lot easier to link up pressure plates so they open both doors at the same time. But because of this, my doors have kind of reset to take into account that they now would operate normally, but it's made them all a bit spazzy. So I've just got to replace them, like so. So I might experiment with that, maybe have some pressure plates to make getting out of the base easier. Another update for the better the wolves I've got to mention is hemp now. Can't see it now because I've got to harvest it all, but the very top piece of hemp has a slightly different texture apparently than the bottom bit. It's just aesthetic reasons, and it's also been put in to allow people who make texture packs to be able to make it look pretty. Because at the moment it's a bit strange that they kind of look the same, I guess. It would be nice to have some differentiation. So when these grow back, they will look slightly different. I'm not sure how different. We'll find that together. But yeah, I'm going to call that it for this episode. It's a shame that I'd managed to record the first 20 minutes of it with the wrong sound levels, but hey, that's life. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. So yeah, I've updated. I've fixed the hopper problem. Never use an unpowered hopper to process more than 7 pieces of netherrack, ground netherrack, or you're going to get a ghast in the face. Found a more efficient way of feeding the wolves. I have know of a better way of powering my millstones, but there's not really enough room in there. I'll set it up with a water wheel. I'll do have a new processing plant, and also I could put half slabs across the top of the spire to make it a bit safer. But I like it like that. So yeah, I think that's everything I did. But you never know, I might have missed something. Oh, so yeah, don't correct me if I'm wrong. Does that look slightly different? It does. The top leaves are ever so slightly different. Am I talking out my arse? I don't know. I can't tell you why, but for some reason that just feels slightly different. Is it slightly lighter? I don't know. If you play the mod long enough, you'll notice the difference, but you probably haven't got a clue what I'm on about. You think I'm crazy. But yeah, thanks for watching, and next episode should hopefully go without a hitch, and the sound levels will be correct and everything. Just a quick note, you might have noticed extra torches around my base. I'm guessing it must have happened between 1.1 and this 1.2.3, but everything just seems a bit darker now, so yeah, got a few more torches. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.